Anaheim Ducks hockey is brought to you by Honda, official vehicle of the NHL and Anaheim Ducks. And by Toshiba, leading innovation. Well, just across the way on Broadway from Tootsie's and all those great honky tonks, a little place they call Bridgestone Arena. And that's where the Ducks are tonight, set to take on the Nashville Predators. In time for tonight's Keys to the Game is brought to you by your helpful SoCal Honda dealers. And for those, we go to the Anaheim bench and Lisa Hillary.
John, thanks very much. Bob, how critical is your start here, given what transpired the last time these two teams met?
Well, they're a tough team when they get the lead, so we have to come out here hard. Again, just keeping it simple, getting pucks deep, being physical, because they're a very physical team themselves.
Thanks, Bob. Good luck.
Thank you.
John?
Thank you, Lisa. In fact, it just took 2 minutes and 22 seconds for the Predators to build a 2-0 lead a month ago in this building. Bruce Boudreau was talking to us this morning, Brian, and he said in this recent run for the Ducks that hasn't gone well, one of the things they haven't had is a lead in a hockey game.
And I think out of respect to the Predators, the reason why the Koivu line starts here for Bruce Boudreau, he wants a good, solid, defensive-minded shift early on.
Emerson Edom gets a good bump on Seth Jones, and now back come the Predators as they're forced to regroup out of their own zone. Craig Smith lobs it in wide of the Anaheim goal, and quickly on it was Fowler, who works it around, and Koivu pounces on it on the far boards into the Nashville zone, and then over for Edom, and just getting back to get a stick in the way to break that up, coming back defensively, was Smith.
Now, Smith has got good wheels, and he was able to stay right with Emerson Edom.
Ducks go for their first change as the Predators work it back into the Anaheim zone, and it's Edom who strides out of the zone with it. Got center red and got crushed. Big hit as Shea Weber stepped into him in the neutral zone, and the Ducks now have to regroup again as they try to finish a change, but the pass is out of the reach of Boschman, so he has to go in behind the net, and it's taken away. Hornquist, he's always been a thorn in the Ducks' side, was able to strip that puck away.
You're right. He did not play the last time these two teams hooked up here in Nashville, and he's a guy that goes hard to the front of the net and has created huge issues for the Anaheim goaltenders over the years.
Carter Hutton gets the start in goal tonight for the Predators. He watches that puck just skip by him, chose not to play it, and now the Ducks keep the pressure on. Boschman's shot is blocked on the way, however, by Weber, one of the league leaders in blocks, and Hornquist into the Anaheim zone on left wing. Forced wide and taken in behind the net. Nice play by Hampus Lindholm, and the puck went off the skate of the referee. The referees for tonight's game, Brad Watson and Denny LaRue. The linesmen are Don Henderson and Darren Gibbs. To center, Getzlaf, and he'll lob it wide of the net. And again, Hutton came out, tried to play it, but it hopped over his stick.
He got a little bit too aggressive there, and of course the goaltender is not allowed to handle the puck outside that trapezoid. Didn't want to take a penalty, but he almost gave one away.
The 28-year-old Hutton appearing in his 30th game this season for the Predators, and here's a turnover by the Ducks, and they're living right there. Unable to get the handle on it was Wilson, who was alone in front.
Yeah, that was a cute play by Matthew Perreault that almost cost them a grade A scoring chance.
Patrick Maroon able to push it to neutral ice, and now regrouping are the yellow-clad Predators. Simon Moser sends it in wide of the Anaheim goal. Getting a stick on it was Hiller. Both teams going for changes. 2.5 minutes in here at Bridgestone Arena as Spiza is able to get it to Winnick. Into the Nashville zone, forced to his backhand, and his pass went right through Bolesky. Lindholm coming in late, holds the zone. Around the boards in behind the net, Silverberg, who draws back in after a healthy scratch against the Hawks 3 nights ago, throws it behind the net. Now Boschma pinches to keep a puck in, and again at the line, held in, and a good play by Bolesky. Hutton stops this one a little more conventionally for Seth Jones, the rookie who has not missed a game for the Predators this season.
The Preds have made a couple of lineup changes over the course of the season. They've pulled off some deals. Michael Del Zotto back on the blue line for Nashville tonight. Gives them a little bit different look, a little bit more puck handling ability than they had in the past. That was the Del Zotto for Klein deal that their general manager David Poile pulled off.
Del Zotto, incidentally, appearing in his 300th NHL game here tonight. This is the youngest defensive unit in the entire National Hockey League. The average age just a shade under 24 years old. Talking with Barry Trotz this morning, he said that was one of the challenges he thought Carter Hutton faced when he first started playing for this team this year. As he said, you know, the margin of error wasn't very much for him. as the young defense has been known to make some mistakes in front of him. But of late, he's played very well. Hutton 6-2-3 in his last 11 decisions. It's been interesting, Brian. I think a lot of us, myself included, when David Poile made another deal that brought in Devin Dubnyk from the Edmonton Oilers, a lot of people around the league thought, well, he's going to take the net. Well, he had 2 clunkers right out of the gate, and since then, Hutton has taken the net from him.
And Hutton's been good, and you know, it's the old story, especially when you're starving for points. Whatever goaltender wins, he stays in the goal crease, and it's an interesting career opportunity for Carter Hutton. Cam Fowler goes to the front of the net, and looks like that puck, oh boy, it's like bowling pins. He got run over, and fortunately the legs of Cam Fowler are okay. That was Hornquist that fell awkwardly
You said
into
he
the
goes
legs.
hard to the net.
He always does.
Been a bit of a down year for Patrick Hornquist, as Brian mentioned. Injuries cost him 5 games earlier in the season, just 10 goals through the first 53 games. Hornquist, the guy who has lit up not just the Ducks, but the entire league before, as Getzlaf's shot steered into the netting from outside the blue line by Hutton.
Well, one of the things that Anaheim is trying to guard against in this game is turnovers, but boy, oh boy, you know, Lucas Spiza put Matthew Perreault in a tough spot there, John, but Perreault's just got to shoot that puck out of harm's way. You do not try and put it between a player's, you know, heel of his stick and his foot, or between his feet when you're 10 feet in front of your own goal crease. It's a high-risk play, and Anaheim fortunate that Colin Wilson was not able to get a hold of that puck.
Perreault steps in to take the draw and wins it back to Brian Allen. Allen also drawing back in after a healthy scratch on Wednesday against the Blackhawks. He's paired with Spiza tonight, and Brian Allen is playing the right side there. A couple of left-hand shooting defensemen, neither one that we've seen play the right side a whole lot this season. So we'll keep an eye on this defense pair and see if they stay together. I believe a hand pass is the call here as we get a whistle and a stoppage of play. This season, when the Ducks score 5 goals or more, Hooters gives you 5 free wings. Print the coupon and head to Hooters within 24 hours of that 5th Ducks goal anywhere in Southern California.
There's a good look at Daniel Winnick, who's centering the 4th line for the Ducks tonight. Silverberg and Bolesky on his wing, so he knows he's got 2 guys with good speed, and Matt Bolesky, he's got an aggressive forechecker. Daniel Winnick knows if he dumps the puck in at the right time and in the right space, that his wingers are going to be able to get in on top of the Predators' defense. That's what this line is all about tonight. It's all about the forecheck.
Winnick played center against the Blackhawks on Wednesday, won 4 of 9 draws in that game. Not a natural centerman by any estimate, but he has stepped into the middle on a couple different occasions this season for Anaheim. Paul Gaustad, who is a natural centerman, in on the forecheck, forcing Lindholm to throw that puck through the middle. And then Gaustad trying to get it back into the Anaheim zone.
That'll be interesting because Gaustad's been moved to the wing for tonight's game, with the youngster Sissons being given an opportunity to play. But who's going to take the faceoff? I would think Gaustad's going to take a lot of draws on that line.
He's number 2 in the league in faceoff winning percentage. I don't know why he wouldn't. Here's Ryan Ellis into the Anaheim zone. And he filters one through, blocked aside by Hiller. Penalty coming up to the Ducks, as I think we're going to get a hook behind the net, and the Predators will have the game's first power play when we come back to Bridgestone Arena in Nashville.
Left center your screen. Keep an eye on Matt Bolesky. He gets a bead on David Legwand and finishes him off. A good hit by Bolesky. Here's the hooking penalty against Daniel Winnick. This one's a marginal one. Winnick will go to the box. First power play opportunity of the game belongs to Nashville. See, the referee did not call that till, boy, it looked like Smith was actually going to fall down to the ice. By that time, Winnick's stick was almost right on the ice, John.
The Preds were 0 for 3 on the power play back on January the 8th, or 9th, I should say, when these teams got together the only time this season, and they get the first chance of the night. They're over 20% on the power play on the season, though. So this is a formidable power play unit, especially when you consider the man who pulls the trigger from the point, Shea Weber.
Yeah, and it's all about getting into the shooting lanes against Shea Weber and making life difficult. It's not an envious job to have in a game like this. As if you're the high penalty killing forward, whose task it is. Boy,
Oh, Hutton coughs it up as he let Koivu get too close. And here are the Ducks in the Nashville zone now. Koivu ridden off the puck as he throws it behind the goal.
second adventure for Carter Hutton already tonight.
I saw him handle the puck nicely once, but as you mentioned, the other 2 times were more of the adventures type. I thought for a minute maybe the Predators were very confident in his puck handling. Here's a shorthanded chance. Cogliano looking to set up Bolesky. And it was broken up by Ellis. Back come the Preds, and a stick save by Hiller in a clearing attempt that went off of Bolesky, and he is shaken up as he goes back to the Anaheim bench.
Yeah, I think it hit him in the foot. A little bit of a stinger for Matt Bolesky, having trouble putting weight on the foot that was hit by that puck.
Hiller out to play it again, and the Ducks doing some good penalty killing. This is a Nashville team that has not given up a shorthanded goal in 76 games, and what a golden opportunity Cogliano and Bolesky just had shorthanded. Final seconds of the penalty to Winnick as the puck brought into the Anaheim zone and roll behind the net. Victor Stahlberg draws back in tonight for the Predators, and he works the puck down low, tries to get it to the line, and it's broken up. Nice play there by Getzlaf, who now battles the puck into the Nashville zone. Curls looking for help along the wall, and he's ridden off the puck there. Good defensive play by Seth Jones. And now the Predators 3 abreast through center ice. Stahlberg with a long wrist shot, and that's held by Jonas Hiller.
Well, here's Carter Hutton making things very exciting for his head coach, Barry Trotz, whose head was probably about ready to explode. And Andrew Cogliano's got a 2-on-1. He's looking for Matt Bolesky, and boy, Seth Jones kind of spun around there and made a nice defensive play. And that was the puck that Andrew Cogliano inadvertently shot into the foot of Bolesky. He's going to be fine, I would imagine.
Patrick Maroon chips it into the Nashville zone, and Gaustad back to get it, reverses it away from the forecheck of Matthew Perreault. Roman Josi on his way to Sochi to represent his home nation, Switzerland. He'll be a teammate of Jonas Hiller's. Throws it out of the Nashville zone. Now it's Lindholm. Hampus's pass deflected deep into the Nashville zone by Perreault. Maroon in on the forecheck, and Hutton handles that one a little more conventionally. Back to center ice, Richard Clune. He'll get the red line and throw it in. Hiller gets a piece of it behind the net. Fowler reverses for Lovejoy, and his outlet up the boards. All Palmieri could do was clear the line. Ryan Ellis, the 2-time OHL Defenseman of the Year at Windsor, right back into the Anaheim zone. And a good job by Hiller defending his goal creases. He got a stick on that. Back comes Penner. Hits the brakes, finds the trailer. It's Fowler. He does the same thing, curls it right back to Dustin. Trying to get it into the middle, and just out of the reach of Corey Perry.
Now, someone's got to get into the middle of the ice for the Ducks. There's a lot of spinning away out on the perimeter.
And turned away from a couple of shots in this game as well.
You don't often get good scoring chances unless there's some kind of a presence in front of the net. Boy, Hutton again, a little awkward handling that puck.
He doesn't lack in confidence. Whether or not he should be confident, I don't know. Brian Allen rattles the glass with a long drive. Kept in on the near side by Edom, who puts it behind the net. And Getzlaf tries to center, blocked by Weber. Perry will hold it in. He turns and fires it wide. It comes up the near side. Getzlaf looking over his shoulder as he plays it back to the corner. Emerson Edom getting some time on the big line here with the Twins. And the puck kept alive. Getzlaf threw it to the front of the net. And it was swatted away by Weber. Concerted pressure for the Ducks in the Nashville zone, and Getzlaf making his way to the bench for a change. Flips it back in. 9:10 to go on a scoreless first period in Nashville. Jones moves it ahead, and with speed, it's Wilson. Chopped off his stick. It goes straight up in the air. Lindholm didn't know where it was. Wilson did, and he plays on. To the line. Tipped right on. And a good save by Hiller. It was Stahlberg again, parked in front.
A good stop. Jonas Hiller gets down early, takes away the entire bottom of the net, and nowhere to go for Stahlberg.
Simon Moser with a long wrist shot. It's in the right hand catching glove of Jonas Hiller. will step aside, still without a score. Time for Who Got It Done, brought to you by YP.com, the new way to do. Some of these numbers are very similar for Jonas Hiller.
Well, the last 6 starts, 1 and 5, but his goals against is 2.35 in those 6 games. That's what his goals against is for the entire season, 2.35. So he's not getting any offensive production from his teammates, who have only averaged a goal and a half in their favor over that span. So somehow the Ducks have got to find a way to reignite that offense.
Hiller making his 39th appearance in goal for the Ducks tonight, and he sees a Stallberg bid that he kicks away with the right pad. Ellis slides it over. Quick shot tipped again. The rebound right there for Stallberg, who scores.
Stallberg's been good in this game, and he gets rewarded for his efforts. This is about puck recoveries. Nashville's getting shots through. Here's a little redirect, forces Hiller to make a save, and in comes Stallberg. He gets inside of Saku Koivu, gets a poke on that puck, and watch what happens after he pokes it. It rides off the hip of Jonas Hiller, and as Hiller was reaching back with his right arm, I think he inadvertently knocks it over the line right there. Stallberg goes to the net hard, and the Preds have got a 1-0 lead.
Well, he's a big addition to this lineup. He has not played the last 5 games. He's got a shoulder ailment, but Stallberg's a guy they signed in the offseason as an unrestricted free agent, and they had big plans for him to be a big contributor here. Just his 7th goal of the season. A little bit of a disappointment up until now, but he's given the Preds a 1-0 lead. Sissons leads the rush, and coming late is Ellis, the defenseman. Looks over at Victor Bartley, doesn't give him the puck, now drifts to the far boards, got the shot through. Hiller thought it was underneath him, but it was laying in front of him.
That was a rocket that Jonas Hiller did a good job blocking. We got another penalty coming up here against the Ducks. I think it's Brian Allen who's going to go for cross-checking. So some adversity early for Anaheim, as the Preds are right back on the power play, but they're getting their point shots through. Guys are not in the shooting lanes in the early going here for the Ducks. A little bit of confusion there between Maroon and Palmieri. Hiller feels the puck, but then can't locate it. And I believe that was the penalty right there. It was dealt out to Brian Allen. He'll sit for the next 2 minutes.
Second power play of the night for the Preds, who at 11:35 of this period took a 1-0 lead. Even strength. Bartley and Ellis drawing the assists on the 7th of the year for Stallberg. And there's a shot that broke the stick of Winnick and trickled just wide of the Anaheim goal. And boy, Weber got another one away as Winnick tried to lay down in front of it. Winnick to the bench, gets another stick, and Roman Josi and Weber work the top of the zone. Josi tipped on a wrist shot that got through, and Hiller did well to see it. And now Boschman mixing it up in front of the net with Hornquist.
Yeah, you know where Hornquist is going, and he's got a very low center of gravity. He's a difficult guy to move. If you can't cut him off in the pass and he gets position established, you might as well just ignore him.
Josi shot again, trickles towards the net, and Boschman knifes it away as Hornquist took a swing at it. David Legwand in the corner, leading scorer for the Preds, gets it to Hornquist, whose backhander turned away. Better save on the rebound. Hiller's been very good as the Ducks have been outshot 12-2. Josi tees another one up. Rebound to Hornquist, and Hiller got the right pad on that.
They're getting to every loose puck, Nashville.
Josi and Weber change sides out high. Legwand on the half wall. Hornquist sets up in front. Legwand trying to open up a passing lane. Into the middle. Fisher misses the net. Getzlaf gets to it in the corner and whisks it away. Anaheim on their heels, to say the least, and shorthanded for another 15 seconds. 1-0 Nashville. As right now, Anaheim just trying to weather the storm. Ryan Ellis into the middle, a little too hot to handle. Jones trails the play and moves it in. spun around as Wilson.
Lucky that was not a hook. That easily could have been a hook.
Allen out of the box, and a 2-on-1 created with Cogliano. He'll shoot this time. Fat rebound, and Hutton gets over to make the save.
What a stop. Great stop by Carter Hutton, moving from his right to left. First big save of the game for him.
Well, only his third and fourth saves of the game. Stallberg got a touch on that, so Hiller had to play it. Lovejoy leads it out of the zone, and then he got crushed.
You know, I'll say this. The Ducks have been able to get in behind the Predators' defense on a number of different occasions in this game so far.
Maroon into the Nashville zone, tries to slip by Weber, who delivers a big hit in the corner. Maroon lost his stick, so he couldn't play on there. Up the wall, Palmieri keeps it alive. And the Predators again win a puck battle. Kloon at center, slides it across. And Yossi unable to take it deeper into the Anaheim zone. Outlet for Maroon is broken up on the near side by Jones. The 18-year-old trying to spin off of Patrick Maroon. The puck squirts across, and Hornqvist busts in. Fires it over top, trying to use the defense as a shield. Around the boards, Hartley, the defenseman, steps up. Centered, and off the skate of Hornqvist, he's able to find it. Jones' shot is blocked by Fowler. To the corner, he goes after it. Nystrom picks him up there, and Perreault plays it away for Palmieri. And Nystrom gets a bump on him as he just clears the zone. Jones rims it hard around, right back into the Anaheim zone, and Getzlaf kicks it back. Curls away and finds open ice up the middle. Ducks finishing changes. Perry stood up at the blue line by Weber. Legwand plays it back. Under 4 to go, first period. The Predators 0 for 2 on the power play, but they lead it 1-0.
And you see every time Ryan Getzlaf comes over the boards for Bruce Boudreau, Shea Weber.
Spiza with a point shot, and that's blockered all the way to the near dot by Hutton. Allen looking for a tip in front, but it's blocked away, and back come the Preds with speed. Gabriel Bourque can't get to it as it was angled off the end wall, and Spiza is shaken up behind the Anaheim goal, and a big save by Hiller. Boy, the Predators are all over Anaheim. It was Gabriel Bourque who had the big chance, and Hiller keeps it a 1-goal game. 12 saves for Anaheim's Jonas Hiller so far in the opening frame. Pass up the middle, and the Ducks get away with it despite it being errant. Bartley backs into his own zone with his defense partner Ellis. Moser, he's on his way to the Olympics to play for the Swiss as well. Dumps it in behind the net. Hiller plays it off the glass. It comes right back to the front of the net, and Winnick stick handles it out of harm's way.
It's a fire drill at times in the Anaheim defensive zone. Puck bouncing around crazily, and every time that it does, John, it seems to go and land on a Predator stick.
Boschema leads it in, drops it for Bolesky. Hutton makes the save, and it sticks to him. Non-stop action at Bridgestone Arena.
Ducks trailing by 1. Andrew Cogliano breaks down the left wing, throws it into the goaltender's feet. Big rebound. The rebound comes out. Silverberg thinks he's tied this game up, but Carter Hutton gets across. Boy, powerful push off the right skate. He drives forward with the left leg, makes a great save. Moments after that, Lucas Spiza went hard into the boards. Referee thought about blowing his whistle, stopping the play, elected not to. The good news is Lucas Spiza is right back out there for Anaheim.
2:15 to go in the opening frame as Koivu steps in to take the draw. 64% in the faceoff circle against Chicago the other night, and he wins this one with help from Emerson Edom. And Koivu battles it back below the goal line. Cogliano trying to get it to Edom, and that was broken up. Del Zotto upended Edom, but he gets back up and helps Brian Allen keep it in. Cogliano can't get the puck to settle. Chops it up the wall. Edom got to it. To the corner for Koivu. Cogliano lost an edge as he tumbles in the corner. And the centering pass intended for Edom is deflected away. Hutton gets a stick on it as Spiza rims it around right back in. And now Seth Jones starts back. The 4th overall pick in last summer's draft, Seth Jones. native of the Dallas area. And here come the Ducks 4-on-2 into the Nashville zone. Penner's the trailer, throws it into the crease. Lindholm takes a swat at it. Getzlaf takes it behind the goal. Getzlaf hits the brakes. And he scores. He was looking for Perry, sneaking from behind the net, and he got a fortuitous bounce.
Now this goes in off a Nashville player's stick. Getzlaf just kind of floating a pass out through the crease area, and it's about 2 or 3 feet off the ice, and watch what happens. He just kind of spins. There's Weber working him over. Getzlaf's going to go down low. He's looking for Corey Perry. Yeah, it was the Nashville player. I think it's Wilson. Swats it back in. Excuse me, it was Roman Josi that swats that puck by mistake into his own goal. And the Ducks have tied it up.
They'll take it. We're tied at 1/28th of the season for Getzlaf. And now under a minute to go in the opening period. A period that has been played primarily in the Anaheim zone. Point shot from Ellis gets through. He's not the biggest guy, but Brian, he can bring it, can he?
He can, and he's very, very mobile. And so he's able to create shooting lanes for himself. He's done a good job in this game getting pucks through.
Hutton with a little misdirection, and Perreault throws it off the side of the net. Now Moser has his clearing attempt knocked down by Pat Maroon. Ellis up the boards, clears the zone. Under half a minute to play in the opening period, tied at 1. Penner can't handle it. Off his skate up to his stick, and now back to get it as Fowler as he's being tracked by Bourque. Flipped out by Penner, who drops down to help out defensively, and Weber retreats into his own zone under 10 seconds in the period. Off the stick of Legwand, it's in behind the Anaheim goal. Lovejoy just trying to kill the clock, and he will. And the Ducks living right. They get a bounce late in the period. Getzlaf credited with a goal, and we're all square after 20 minutes.
Yeah, too much time in the defensive zone in the opening 20 for Anaheim, and the Predators, helped out significantly by those 2 Anaheim penalties, were able to control the puck for the better part of that period. They won a lot of puck battles early on. I think that Anaheim got better in that regard, but I don't think Bruce Boudreau will be pleased inside the Ducks locker room. It would be a very interesting conversation, I'm sure.
His club is all even with the Nashville Predators after 20 minutes of play here at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. And as we go to break, we bring you some images, compliments of our Phantom Cam here on Fox. The Ducks and Preds tied at 1 after 1. Anaheim Ducks hockey is brought to you by ANA, Japan's leading 5-star airline. 2 daily flights from LAX to Tokyo, offering seamless connections to other Asian destinations. The Ducks and Predators tied at 1 after 1 in Music City. Still a few minutes away from the start of the second period to play. John and Brian back with you. What a flow that opening period had, Brian. 11 face-offs the entire first period.
Yeah, there was flow. That's one way of describing it. The puck was bouncing around crazily. There were good scoring chances for both teams as we take a look at our Honda highlights. You're going to see a lot of them belong to the Ducks, but they didn't really execute on their outnumbered attacks. Great pass here by Cam Fowler. Andrew Cogliano was looking for Bolesky. What a play that was. Right there by Jones. And then Bartley's shot from the blue line is going to get through traffic. That was the theme of the opening period. Victor Stahlberg won the battle for the rebound, and he would make it 1-0 Predators. A look from our overhead camera reveals that Jonas Hiller inadvertently knocks that puck back into his own net. Tough break for him. I've been impressed with Ellis in the opening period, John, his ability to get point shots through. That was a good stop by Hiller. And again, look how aggressive the Predators are as they go to the front of the net. Patrick Hornquist got away with a high stick there on Francois Beauchemin, and those two have been going at it. In fact, Hornquist, as advertised, been a very effective player for Nashville in this game. Best save of the game? Well, it was Carter Hutton right there. The rebound goes out to Jakob Silfverberg, and he manages to get across. A little piece of that puck with the left leg pad. Hampus Lindholm has been joining the rush. And eventually, Ryan Getzlaf's just going to get this puck, throw it towards the front of the net. He's looking for Corey Perry. Roman Josi taps it in behind his own netminder. What a break for the Ducks. They don't play a great period, but they score late. It's tied after 1. As we look at our stats, look at the scoring chances. 9-4 in favor of Nashville, largely because of the fact the 2 power plays that they had in the opening period. So usually when you're taking penalties like that, it's because you're not moving your feet. That's what Bruce Boudreau is going to be talking about to his team. And certainly the battles for possession of the puck have got to get better for Anaheim.
Time for tonight's Call to the Locker Room is brought to you by Dollar Loan Center, and we go to the Anaheim bench and Lisa Hillary.
Brad, it's a 1-1 hockey game, but I know as a coaching staff you weren't happy with that first period. Why not?
Well, I mean, we came out, I thought we were skating very well at the beginning of the game, and then when they got their first goal, we kind of stopped doing the things that we were doing earlier. We weren't moving our feet. We weren't winning puck battles, and that's the difference in that first period. We gave up too many shots. If we get back to doing the little things, we'll be fine here.
Thanks, Brad. John?
Thank you, Lisa. Just about set to start the second period of play. Jonas Hiller looking for just his second win in his last 7 appearances, and he was very good in that opening period, making 13 saves, keeping it a 1-goal game for a good portion of the period. And that, of course, bought time for Ryan Getzlaf to get a bounce.
Yeah, probably relieved to see a puck go in at the opposite end, too. And maybe that's going to help the Ducks get off the schneid. They finally got a bounce offensively, John. It's been a while since they've had one of them go their way.
And coming into tonight, Anaheim had only scored 2 goals in their last 3 games. Tied at 1 is Michael Del Zotto, the former Ranger, plays it back, and now the open man on the wing is Gabriel Bourque, and his shot deflected over top as Lovejoy was able to recover and get a stick in the shooting lane. Jones can't hold it in, and he's forced back with Del Zotto. His pass kicked right on goal by Hornqvist, and Hiller forced to freeze it there. Well, a reminder, coming up later on in our broadcast, we will enjoy Miller Time, and you can enjoy it with us as we look back on one of the key moments in the hockey game. As always, brought to you by Miller Lite.
A little discussion on the ice going on between Patrick Hornqvist and the referee. Hornqvist wears that A on his jersey, and he's always talking. I'm not so sure he's always understood when he's talking. And sometimes the Finnish Swedish players, you know, as they get a little bit more animated, a little bit more difficult to understand.
It's been a tough road to hoe for Hornqvist of late. -7 in his last 11 games coming into tonight. And this is a Nashville team that struggles on even strength hockey. They are a big -24 in 5-on-5 situations entering tonight's action.
Yeah, you contrast that with the Ducks, who are +39 and lead the NHL. So you would figure that if you play 5-on-5 in a game like this, it really favors Anaheim.
Here's Perry getting it into the middle for Getzlaf, and he's immediately engaged by Weber. Those two see a lot of one another when these teams get together. There will be one more meeting this year between these clubs. That one will be at Honda Center on the 4th of April. Colin Wilson out of the corner, trying to slide a pass across, and hits Hiller and squirts free. Moser to the front of the net, works it back, and redirected right on by Moser as he was set up by Ellis, and the puck lifted out of harm's way.
What a stop by Hiller. And again, a lot of this is Hornqvist. He goes to the front of the net, and he just creates so much chaos down low. Very distracting for the Anaheim defenders. They're spending a lot of time worrying about Patrick Hornqvist on the doorstep, and it's why passes are kind of slipping through in that area of the Anaheim goal crease.
Boy, Maroon slid it just out of the reach of Palmieri. He would have been in on a 2-on-1 had he been able to field it cleanly. Allen sends it up the boards. Bartley held it in and got a tip in front. Victor Bartley assists in 2 of the last 3 games, and he turns it over at center, and Perreault pushed across the line ahead of Palmieri, so the play offside.
I want to go back to that last play. Stop it here, guys, and look at Hornqvist, 27 goal, and look at the Anaheim defenders. See Brian Allen there, give him a little cross check. Now roll it forward, you'll see the cross ice pass. It's just thrown to the front of the net. It's off a foot. Jonas Hiller almost caught out of position on that play, but again, it's Hornqvist who's drawing everyone towards him and creating issues and creating space for his line mates.
Sissons taps it out of the Nashville zone, and Gaustad bumped hard in the neutral zone. Hampus Lindholm, who had the lone assist on the Anaheim goal, misses his intended target, Jakob Silfverberg, and icing is the call. Lindholm now with 3 points, all assists in his last 5 games.
He had one great rush in that opening period tonight. He danced around a couple of guys, jumped up into the play. Just getting better and better and better.
I was talking with Hampus earlier in the week, and I said, is this the most hockey you've ever played? Obviously at the pro level. And he said, you know, I did play 80 games or so when I was younger and playing for 2 or 3 different teams. He said, but nothing when you compare it, include the intensity of the 56 games he's appeared in this season, as Del Zotto doesn't get a whole lot on this, and he holds it. And I was talking with Bruce Boudreau earlier this week as well. You know, everybody assumes that the younger players don't need the break as much, but a young player, inexperienced player like Lindholm probably can learn a lot from the break and can get a lot out of the break just as much as a veteran.
Right, and physically, I mean, he's got a long ways to go in terms of reaching his physical maturity. There's probably a good 15 pounds of muscle that Lindholm will pack on in the next 2 or 3 years. And boy, when he gets that extra strength combined with that skating ability of his and the way he reads the play so well.
Well, that puck clipped Shea Weber and he went right down. Corey Perry turns to make sure Weber's all right as the puck was covered by Carter Hutton. We get another look.
Yeah, it was Dustin Penner that flipped it in. He got it right up, and it looked like it went underneath the visor of Shea Weber. You see plays like that, you just think, boy, oh boy, why do players not wear visors?
Well, he's apparently no worse for wear as he stays out there. Ducks win a draw, and off the boards, Getzlaf gets it on net. Hutton nearly spits a rebound out, and he's just able to reel it in before Perry could get there.
Well, this is just a quick shot from Getzlaf, and that's a fat rebound left lying around by Carter Hutton. Corey Perry a split second late. Perry's trying to get to the front of the net, and Nystrom gets in there and ties him up. And Hutton able to cover.
Carter Hutton played 4 years of college hockey at UMass Lowell and had been a career minor leaguer with the exception of 1 game last year with the Chicago Blackhawks. But because of the injury to Pecorine, he is #1 right now here in Nashville. Penner from behind the net, trying to get in front of Hutton there. Barry Trotz said that Hutton has done a wonderful job of late in taking the reins as the #1 netminder.
What a hit by Lovejoy.
Lovejoy rocked Nystrom in the neutral zone. This game's had its fair share of physical contact. Fowler circles to find open ice. Getzlaf with a strike for Cogliano. Pulls it in and fires it wide. Edom was driving the net. Allen off the bench. Holds it in. Gets it back. Big save, Hutton. Bourque just swinging that stick. One hand on it as the puck comes to the near wall. And finally clears off of Fisher. Jones throws it to the Anaheim net. And it's squeezed by Hiller.
Ben Lovejoy with a big bump in the neutral zone on Nystrom. Times it perfectly. And, Ben's not the biggest guy in the world, but he sure has good timing on those hits. And here's the quick shot thrown into the feet. That was big Brian Allen, who had roamed down deep in the offensive zone. Don't really expect to see Brian Allen down that deep very often.
We don't see him there that often. Allen a +4 in his last 6 games. Trying to clear off the faceoff, but it was sealed off. And the Preds throw it cross ice. Del Zotto rims it around. Nudge to the line. Legwan covers the point. Bourque trying to work it in front. Comes around, and again, Del Zotto throws it towards the net. Bourque and Spiza battle there. Craig Smith had 2 goals 2 nights ago in Minnesota in the Predators' overtime loss to the Wild. Gets it back to the point. Jones throws it in front. It got through. Big rebound. And Smith was there. Hiller got a piece of it. Craig Smith from behind the net trying to find open space. Gets it to Legwan. Smith has been one of the better offensive players for the Preds the last 2 months. Jones hands it off. Hiller makes the save on a one-time bid by Del Zotto.
Boy, you can see that the Predators are now shooting for tips in and around the Anaheim goal crease. And the reason why they're encouraged to do that is because they're getting that position established very, very quickly. As soon as they get the puck in the offensive zone, one guy's going right to the top of the goal crease. He's just standing there.
Maroon redirects the puck in behind Hutton, who's out to play it once more. Maroon at the hash mark, keeps it deep for Perreault. Nice pass to Palmieri. Had to take it behind the net. Brings it in front, turns on the forehand. That's off the stick of Jones and into the crowd. 13:50 to go, middle period in Music City. Tied at 1. Well, Ducks fans all around, and they celebrate the Pee Wee AAA California Tier 1 State Championship this afternoon, as the Ducks junior team winning that championship at the Rinks in Lakewood. Congratulations to all the members of the team, as well as coaches Craig Johnson and Scott Niedermeyer.
I understand they beat the Sharks in the finals, so congratulations, guys.
It's a good habit to get into.
Yeah.
Beating the Sharks. Here the Ducks and Predators are tied at 1. The face-off to the left of Carter Hutton. Hutton picked up an assist in the Preds' last action at Minnesota on Thursday night, his first NHL point. Made 33 saves in a 3-2 overtime loss to the Wild. Rolling puck that Wilson is unable to get to because Lindholm beat him to it, and he threads the needle back into the Nashville zone. Ellis hit hard by Maroon, and around the boards, Beauchemin holds it in. Pat Maroon behind the net. Drags it along. Palmieri there to help out, but up the boards it comes to Simon Moser. Recent recall from Milwaukee of the American League. And Ellis puts it up on the glass and right back in. Palmieri using the backhand to clear the zone, and now Getzlaf pressuring Roman Josi.
I've been impressed with Roman Josi in this game, John.
Weber, his D partner, fires one, and that takes the stick right out of Hiller's hand. And Beauchemin goes and gets the puck, or the stick for him, as the puck is cleared, and the Ducks are called for an icing.
You know, we told you about the bomb that Shea Weber has, and this is a pretty darn good example of it. This goes off the knob of the goaltender's stick and just blows it right out of his hand. Weber on fire, as we talked about, leads all defensemen in goals, and more goals in the last 5 years in the NHL than any other defenseman. It's not even close.
More power play goals as well, and he also leads NHL defensemen again this season in that category. He will be a big weapon for Team Canada coming up next week. Palmieri gets to the puck at center, and as he's changing, chips it in. Perry jumps over the boards to replace him on right wing, and a clearing attempt is held in at the line by Brian Allen. Had to retreat to neutral ice before throwing it in, so the Ducks forced to get onside. And again, Allen breaks up the outlet pass. Getzlaf has it knocked away, and here's Mike Fisher. Fisher goes wide into the Anaheim zone and misses the net. The puck comes around and rolls away from Nystrom all the way back into the Predators' end. And Weber uses the backhand and the glass to clear. And it got away from Allen, so icing is the call. Well, grab your crew and experience life at a different speed. Upload a photo of you and your crew at foxsports.com/grabyourcrew and enter for a chance to join the Fox Sports Girls at the Daytona 500 coming up later on this month, February the 23rd.
I mentioned that the Ducks have won the last 4 meetings between themselves and the Predators. 2 of them took extra time to make it happen. But overall, 6-2-2. The Predators are on their last 10 at Bridgestone against the Ducks.
Winnick got clipped by Fisher behind the net, and a penalty coming up to the Predators. To the bench goes Hiller for the extra attacker, and as Smith touches up, the Ducks will get their first power play chance. I think Winnick may have got clipped by Fisher's stick as he went behind the net.
Right here goes to lift the stick. Or actually, I think it's going to be a tripping call. Kind of kicks the feet out. Wow.
It's a double minor for high sticking, so apparently Winnick was cut.
Could have been tripping and high sticking. A little bit of a slew foot there by Mike Fisher.
So a big opportunity for Anaheim on the power play. a shade under 18% on the season. And the only meeting this season against the Preds, they were 1 for 4.
It's been an issue for them in this little slide that they've been on, John. 0 for their last 11. We've talked about the absence of Nick Bonino. And at times the power play has lacked the structure that Bonino seems to bring to the table.
Puck centered, but nothing but yellow sweaters there as Bourque got a stick on it. And the Predators get changes on the kill. 35 seconds gone in the double minor to Fisher. Room in the neutral zone as Beauchemin carries it in. Uses the end boards to find Perry. Back to the point. Pressure on Fowler. And Seth Jones battles the puck out. Ducks onside, and Beauchemin sends it back in. Hutton plays it back from where it came. Beauchemin steps up. And Perry wins the puck around for Fowler. Now they're set up as Getzlaf curls on the left wing half wall. Steps into the middle, gives it to Perry on the goal line. Immediately engaged by Jones. Perry cross ice finds Beauchemin. He rips it and it's blocked. Good play by Victor Bartley, but the puck recovered by Getzlaf. He brings it high in the zone, again looking for Francois Beauchemin. Getzlaf from Fowler steps into the middle for Bolesky, fired it wide. Rebound, Perry passed it right back through Getzlaf.
Oh, too bad. They had the play set up. Matt Bolesky, disgusted look on his face as he goes back to the bench. He had it right in the wheelhouse and just couldn't find the shot on goal.
Second power play unit comes out. Reaching up the right side is Perreault. Stutter step move inside the blue line, and now Lindholm shovels it down low for Maroon. Maroon hit behind the net there by Weber. Yossi pounces on the loose puck. Maroon pokes it free. And good work by the penalty killers to find the open man. It's Weber, and he drives it the length of the ice right on goal. Just past the halfway mark of the hockey game. The first 2 minutes of Fisher's penalty time gone. And the Ducks storm to center with it again. Lindholm hard around. Hutton gets a piece of it to the corner. And out of the line, Lindholm will hold it in. Calling for it, Paul Marion. He broke his stick. Battle to the front of the net. Yossi knocks it away. Silverberg recovers. It's in his skates. Maroon wins it back for Lindholm. Off the half wall, Silverberg steps in. His shot blocked. Gets it back for Lindholm. Tampa flips it to the net, and it's tipped. Off an Anaheim stick is the ruling. As it goes out of play, the faceoff will leave the zone.
Well, the Ducks have had some chances here against Carter Hutton. The best one was this one right here. Quick passing play into Bolesky. Looks like it goes off a stick and just wide of the net. And then, boys, Corey Perry looked for Ryan Getzlaf. I think Hutton may have got a little piece of that puck and prevented a clean pass from arriving on the captain's stick. So
good communication here, pardon me, Brian, by the officials. The linesman came over to the referee, Denny LaRue, and said, you know, that went off a Nashville stick, so the faceoff is going to stay to the right of Hutton.
A minute and 17 still to work with on this power play, and Boudreau comes right back with his #1 power play unit. I don't think it's a bad thing. There's a little problem with the ice. I don't think it's a bad thing that the Getzlaf group will get a little bit extra rest here before they drop this puck.
Well, the equivalent of a timeout, if not more, here as the Ducks circle the wagons on the power play while they attend to the ice.
Some good things on this power play to point out are the puck recoveries. Anaheim has been able to shoot pucks in and recover pucks. They've been doing a good job outnumbering people.
Paul Gausted wins the draw to the corner. Bolesky knocked down as he went after it, but it's held at the line by Fowler. Across for Francois Beauchemin. He holds it on the half wall. Bolesky turns it right on net, and Hutton got enough of it. Perry whips it out high for Fowler. Walks the line. Back for Getzlaf. Cross ice, Beauchemin. Quickly to Fowler. Getzlaf thinks better of the one-timer down low. Perry deflected in. He was trying to pass it. I think it went off the stick of Hutton and over his shoulder.
Corey Perry pots goal number 30, and the Ducks helped along again by another deflected puck. It's actually the skate of the defenseman,
Victor Bartley,
and into the back of the net, and a big break. Beauchemin had slid down the back door. That's who Perry was intending the pass for, but another good bounce, the second of the game for the Ducks.
Both Anaheim goals have gone in off of Nashville defenders on attempted passes. Hey, that's the problem, Brian. They've been trying to shoot the puck too much. 2-1 as Anaheim has their first lead. It's a power play goal. And the fourth 30-goal season for Corey Perry in his fine career. So the big guns have scored goals for Anaheim, Getzlaf and Perry, and the Ducks lead with under 8 to go in the second. Gabriel Bourque stick handles in, and his shot deflected out of play off an Anaheim stick. A power play goal has given the Ducks the lead in Nashville.
Welcome back to Nashville, 2-1 hockey game. Matthew, a lot of good coming out of this period so far. What do you need to do to continue that success and continue to press against this Predators team?
Same way. I think we're keeping a fast pace. We're moving puck quicks, and I think this is the key of our success right now.
Thanks for the time.
Sorry about that.
John?
Thank you, Lisa. The official on the Perry goal is 30th of the year from Getzlaf and Fowler at 11:45 on the power play. His team leading 7th power play goal of the season, and it's given the Ducks the lead here in Nashville. Legwand wins the draw in the Anaheim zone, and Del Zotto moves it to the corner. Smith passing out quickly, and Bourque missed the net. Hard shot by Weber is handled and covered. Excuse me, it was Seth Jones, not Weber. Yeah, that youngster can fire the puck a little bit, too.
He can bring it, Kenny. Seth Jones.
Looked very Weber-like there.
Yeah, he hammered it all in one motion. That was a good stop by Jonas Hiller. And see how Francois Beauchemin has his player boxed out in front of the goal crease so he can't get near the rebound? I don't think that there is a better defenseman on the Ducks roster at that particular skill than Beauchemin.
Yossi loads one up. It's off of Hiller to the corner. And Beauchemin goes after it in the corner and moves it ahead. Getzlaf fires it ahead for Perry. Drops it off for Penner. He gets it towards the net. Goes wide on the short side. Getzlaf able to seal it off at the hash mark. Perry has it knocked off his stick, but Lindholm covers. Taking the shot, Getzlaf now gives it to Beauchemin. Goes all the way below the circle on his pass in front. Intended for Penner, whose stick was lifted. Back comes Eric Nystrom. Drops it off. Yossi throws it in front. Getzlaf intercepts for Perry. Taps it around Hornqvist. And Yossi sends it right back. Hornqvist trying to slide it along the base of the dasher, and Beauchemin uses his skate to keep control of the puck. Lindholm has it squared away from him, and then he hustles to a rolling puck and is able to chop it ahead. Perry gets to it, gets center red, hard around and into the Nashville zone, enabling a Ducks change.
It will be interesting to see if Anaheim continues to press here, John. They want to play more time in the Nashville zone. They don't want to fall back now that they've got the lead.
Colin Wilson into the Anaheim zone, behind the net, intercepted by Brian Allen.
Good little yell. You could hear Lucas Spiza holler to Brian Allen, and a little reverse play allowed the Anaheim defense to get away from pressure.
Ducks recover the puck after dumping it into the Nashville zone. Perreault and Maroon with a little two-man game. And then Moser intercepts and clears the zone. Fans and Predators wanted an interference call as Moser was impeded coming out of the zone, but play goes on. Bartley and Paul Mary go to the ice. Crashing in is Maroon, who wins the puck. Patrick Maroon, who picked up his first ever NHL goal in this building last year. Now he's knocked down, and a penalty coming up to the Predators. Not a popular call at Bridgestone. The Ducks scored on their last power play. They'll look to add to their lead when we return.
David Legwand sits in the penalty box. It's been a holding penalty that has been levied against Legwand. Here's the play. Jostling for position with Patrick Maroon. He gets his stick inside of the right arm of Maroon. I don't know. That is a very tough call against David Legwand. So a gift here for the Ducks. Let's see if they can take advantage.
Legwand now in his 15th season, all here in Nashville. Their leading scorer coming into tonight's action. Last season, in the truncated, lockout-shortened season, he led the team in goals. This year, he leads them in assists and points. But he has to watch.
14th NHL season for Legwand. Boy, it's gone fast, hasn't it?
Yeah. Anaheim 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. And now Bourque kicks it out of the zone as his stick was knocked away by Cam Fowler, who turns to go get it back in the Anaheim zone. Just over 5 to go, second period, with the Ducks leading 2-1. Perry is open up right wing. Across the line, his pass broken up by Bourque, but followed up by Bolesky, who gets it back for Getzlaf. He'll trade sides with Fowler as Perry circles the net and gets it on the left wing half wall. Trying to get into the middle, knifed off his stick. Bolesky will let Fowler handle it. Getzlaf behind the back. Perry took it off his skate. Josi gives him no room at all and finally clears.
Well, they're aggressive, this penalty killing unit. I mean, they're pressuring right out to the sideboards.
Been a struggle this year on the penalty kill for the Preds. They're under 80%. In fact, in this building, they're only 77%.
Yep.
But they clear the zone again, and here's Eric Nystrom trying to get wide on Fowler, then knocks him down, and the fans want a call that they don't get. Back come the Ducks. Palmieri finds the trailer. Maroon blocked. Here's Getzlaf. Fired it wide.
Oh, point blank. He just couldn't put the puck on net.
Now it's Nystrom being tracked by Spiza. Fisher lets it come through for Bartley, and that's blocked by Lindholm. And the fans are upset. Lindholm loses the puck to Gaustad. Bourque's shot is saved by Hiller. Well, I can somewhat see their point, Brian.
Well, here's the play where Nystrom gets around Cam Fowler. And that could have been a little bit of a hold there as he reaches with that one arm and puts it on the hip of Nystrom. That's what the fans were upset about. And then the Ducks go streaking down the ice the other way. Right? Getzlaf point blank. And he just couldn't find that puck on goal.
16 seconds left in the penalty to David Legwand. And the Ducks control the draw in their own zone. The natives getting restless at Bridgestone Arena. Brad Watson and Denny LaRue are in their sights. Hutton puts it up on the glass and around to the near side. Koivu tried to hold it in. Legwand out of the box, tries to sneak behind the defense. Here's Josi. Save Hiller, and a fat rebound tapped out of harm's way by Fowler.
Boy, this game is picking up, and the speed and the pace. Terrific.
Cogliano lifts it into the Nashville zone. Edom took it away from Weber, centers, and Cogliano driving the net, gets bounced around, got his stick on it for a moment. Koivu gets it to Edom. That shot blocked. The Anaheim forecheck very effective here. This is that speed line. Koivu, Cogliano, and Edom forcing the Preds to just throw it out of the zone. Legwand knocks it down. Can't get it into the Anaheim zone. Bolesky starts back. He burns in. Can't get it over to Cogliano. Allen holds it in. Bolesky into the slot. Winning. Save. Rebound. Bolesky. And behind the play, Allen and Clune have dropped the gloves.
Great stop by Hutton in the neutral zone as Brian Allen and Rich Clune. Clune's a tough guy, but Brian Allen's got a huge reach advantage here.
They both have one another tied up pretty well. Allen gets the right hand free, as does Clune. Clune throws some punches, but I don't think he can reach Allen, who goes to the left hand and delivers some punishment and then tumble to the ice.
Well, here's the big hit at the blue line. Clune draws himself out of position. That led to the scoring chance. Big stop on the rebound as Bolesky went hard looking for it.
Doesn't take much with Rich Clune, does it? It was just a little tap on the back of the legs that Allen gave him. He was ready to go.
Yeah, he's their penalty minute leader. And Brian Allen, you know, if we stick with this, at one point Brian Allen gets a real good left hand in there, right on the jaw of Rich Clune. Tough kid.
That'll put Clune over 100 penalty minutes on the season. For Allen, his third fight of the year. And this crowd was in it anyway, but that has energized him with just under 3 to play here in the second. 5 for fighting for Clune and Allen. And Beauchemin back in his own zone. Held at the line. Moser finds the trailer coming in, and it's a glove save by Hiller as he robs Ellis with the right hand.
Ryan Ellis again has had a number of good opportunities. This one point blank, but no traffic in front of Jonas Hiller. This one's going up top, and Jonas Hiller says, not going to beat me up there.
Face-off will be to the left of Hiller. His 25th save of the hockey game. Shots 26-15 in favor of the Preds. The score 2-1 Ducks, and Hornquist is run over by Lindholm, his fellow countryman. Penner has to battle to get onside as he lost the puck, and Perry's shot is off the stick of Weber and out of play. A reminder, coming up February 14th through the 17th at the Rinks. It's the 4th annual Anaheim Ducks Throwback Classic Adult Hockey Tournament presented by Hockey Giant. Both of these teams won't see action again for nearly 3 weeks. The Ducks' next game is the 28th of February.
20 days. 20 days in between games. Now, it's not 20 days off, and the teams will come back. The non-Olympians will start practicing 10 days before the season resumes. Informal practices. But you talk to most of the guys, and they will be in the gym and working out. Most guys don't like to take more than 2 or 3 days off. They feel like they really start to lose something. They put in all this hard work. They just don't want to let it all slide.
Well, we spoke to a number of them this morning, and most of the trips guys are taking pretty much we're anywhere between the 4 and 7 day range. So most players know that at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, I believe it is, on the 19th of February, they got to be back at Honda Center practicing again. So 9 full days off after tonight. And this is an icing call against the Ducks. Clock is whittled down to 1:17 to go here in the second period.
We often talk about the offensive prowess of Hampus Lindholm. Watch this play. 47, middle of your screen, recognizes that Hornquist was open up high, gets to him quick. He closes real fast.
He's been good tonight.
Lindholm. Yeah, he's been very good tonight.
Face off to the right of Hiller, who also has been very good tonight, and Fowler reversing it for Lovejoy. Maroon got a touch on it. Doesn't matter. He was on the wrong side of the red line, so icing nonetheless. And down to 64 seconds to go, second period.
It shouldn't be icing. I mean, Patrick Maroon's arguing with the linesman. He said, hey, look, he steps up on me and does not allow me to make a play on the puck. And by doing so, he's not making a play on the puck. There is an onus on the defenseman to at least try and make a play on the puck.
Maroon steps in and gets a piece of that puck as the Ducks start back. Palmieri into the Nashville zone. Cross ice, tipped wide by Maroon. He had a lot of net to shoot at. Under a minute to play, second period. Moser's pass bounces in. Look at Wilson come racing up, and Hiller makes the stop. I think that went off his mask. Perreault collects it on the far boards, and away come the Ducks at center. Maroon tries to give it back to Perreault. It's knocked away. And now he bumps with Stahlberg along the far wall. Ducks changing. Not too many men on the ice because no one played the puck. Fans and the Nashville bench calling for a penalty. But play goes on. Legwand, he hit Cogliano in the face as he tried to go cross ice on the backhand.
And now we got a penalty coming up against Luca Spiza for hooking way away from the play. Andrew Cogliano in some distress. Joe Huff over the boards. Takes his puck right in the mouth. It was David Legwand that hoisted it. Prior to that, good burst of speed by Colin Wilson. He actually catches a piece of the outside of the post as he chopped at that puck. And see if we can pick up the penalty against Luca Spiza. Left side of your screen, stick into the midsection, and stick at parallel. And that gives the referee the option of making that call.
So for Nashville, their third power play chance of the night. They're 0 for 2. And just 18.9 seconds left in the second period. So the face-off here critical for the Duck penalty kill if they can win it and clear the zone. They'd probably get to the locker room with the lead. Getzlaf to oppose Legwand on the draw. Legwand a 51% face-off man on the season, and he wins the draw. So Josi and Weber out high as Fischer throws it off the half wall, and that went off the stick of Lindholm. Boschma recovers in the corner, saucers it just out of the reach of Getzlaf. Josi gets it into the middle, and Fischer misses everything with a high shot. The period comes to an end as Weber breaks his stick and is very frustrated as he picks up the shrapnel on his way back to the bench.
A better period for the Ducks in the second. They got their skating game going. And boy, what a relief to get that power play goal. The power plays have been struggling really badly in the last 4 or 5 games. And I think when they got that one, it just gives the entire bench an emotional lift. I tell you what, Jonas Hiller's been the best player on the ice for either club so far tonight.
26 saves through 2 periods for Hiller. The Ducks have something they haven't had since they beat Philadelphia 10 days ago at Honda Center. A lead. Corey Perry on the power play. It's the difference in the game after 2 in Nashville. Nashville, where almost half of the Ducks traveling party is going to stay after this game because players and people going to parts unknown from here. All rights to this broadcast reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Anaheim Ducks is expressly prohibited. The Ducks with a 2-1 lead as we get set to start the third period of play by virtue of some fortuitous bounces.
We'll call this clean living on the part of the Ducks tonight because both of their goals went in off Nashville Predators defenders. The first one, Getzlaf's, was knocked in by Roman Josi. And the second one off the foot of Victor Bartley, who was spreading out trying to prevent that cross-ice pass from reaching Francois Boschman. John, you mentioned the fact that a lot of folks in town and going to various destinations here from Nashville. The Olympians, the way that it works, the NHL and the NHL Players Associations have a number of flights going over to Sochi for the Olympics. And so it will be members of multiple teams and their families on board the same flights. They don't really just stick with their own teams until they actually arrive in Sochi. So all of the Ducks will be boarding the same flight here in Nashville, heading on to Atlanta, and flying from Atlanta directly to Sochi on a charter flight that has been arranged by the Players Association and the National Hockey League.
So they will disperse to their various national teams once they get to Sochi. Little matter, the third period still stands before both of these teams in the Olympic break, and Getzlaf takes the draw to begin the third period. Ryan Getzlaf has played more minutes than any player for the Ducks through 2 periods. Over 17 minutes in this hockey game. Nashville on their third power play as they begin the third period. And around the boards, a diving effort by Getzlaf chops the puck out. Fischer has to come back and get it. Mike Fischer has struggled a bit of late. -9 in his last 14 games. He's been getting his points, but obviously he's been getting a lot of them on the power play. Legwand weaves deep in the zone, swings it around. Fischer lets it go to Weber at the line. Fischer in the middle, over to Legwand, and a left pad save by Hiller. Fowler battles the puck ahead, tried to give it to Koivu, but it went through him. Weber held it in. Hornqvist to Legwand. Fischer in the middle. Back for Legwand. They play catch. David Legwand looking for something to open up. Passes it. Fischer scores!
Well, not much chance for Jonas Hiller on Mike Fischer's 16th of the regular season. This is good puck movement. They go to work on Cam Fowler down low, and then Cogliano just took one step back towards his own net, and when he did so, Mike Fischer slid a little further away from him. The right-handed shot, it was difficult for Cogliano to get to the stick of Mike Fischer, and that one-timer was ripped into the top corner. The Preds strike on the power play, and we are all tied up.
Just 65 seconds into the third period, and for the second time tonight, the game is knotted. Penner trying to jam it up the wall. Weber holds it in and flips it back wide of the Anaheim goal. Nystrom gets to it. for Yossi, who leans into a one-timer. Big traffic in front as Spiza dumped Gostad. Back come the Ducks. Perry feeds it to Getzlaf. Across the line, pulls it into his feet on the backhand. And puts it right to the side of the net where Hutton covers.
Right, Getzlaf was waiting for Dustin Penner to make himself available in the middle of the ice. Penner couldn't get there quick enough. Eventually, Getzlaf just kind of ran out of time and space. Here's the rush up the ice. See, Penner was stationary at the blue line, so by the time he got on his horse, he was late to arrive on the doorstep in front of Carter Hutton.
Face off to the right of Hutton. Perreault wins it. Lindholm's shot. Oh, that went off of a Predator and right on goal. Oh, it's loose in the crease. Hutton dives back. Couldn't cover as Maroon was snipping around trying to find the loose puck. Stallberg storms into the neutral zone. Across the Anaheim stripe, makes a pass, and Hiller makes a save. Maroon back the other way, chips it in. Goes after it himself. Wins the puck from Ellis on his backhand to the corner. Fans on it as he tries to give it to Palmieri behind the net. Knocked down by Bartley. And now cleared by the Preds. Fowler having trouble with it, so is Lovejoy. The Ducks changing. And the puck put out of play.
The Ducks come close. They work it down to the top of the goal crease. And Hutton can't collect the rebound. Good job by Maroon. He keeps fighting for it, battles the puck all the way to the crease, then comes around behind the net, tries to collect the puck all by himself. Had a good battle down low. The goaltender just swimming on that opportunity. Never a good thing when the goaltender is actually facing headfirst into his own net.
Hornqvist and Legwand draw the assists on the power play goal by Fisher at 1:05, his 16th of the season. And we are square at 2 each. 2.5 minutes into this, the third period. As Ellis winds it around into the Anaheim zone. Winnick puts it behind the net. Fowler under duress. It was all over him. It was Paul Gostad, the former Buffalo Sabre. Puck dumped to the near corner. Bolesky joins the fray in the corner. Try to keep it alive. Silverberg chops it loose for Winnick. Winnick takes it wide in behind the net. Sets up Silverberg. Didn't get much on it. Went just wide as Ellis didn't give him much space. Bartley has Silverberg all over him, and Allen activates from the point to keep it in. Silverberg knocks it away, and Winnick tried to set up Bolesky. Spiza can't hold it in, and it's Miller who will come out to play it. Spiza clears the zone. Hiller stops it behind the net as the Preds touch up. Lucas Spiza ahead for Penner, and it went right through him. Weber slides it over for Yossi. Pass through the middle, broken up by Spiza. Getzlaf finds Perry in the Nashville zone. In behind the net. Penner goes to the front of the net. Weber lost his stick. Behind the net, it's Getzlaf. Sneaking up is Fowler. He hooks it right back on net instead. And laying the paddle of the stick down. Carter Hutton with another stop. Yossi joins the rush. Drops it to Corey Perry. And Perry's cross-ice pass glances off of Weber back into the Nashville zone.
That was the old Corey Perry trailing the play, yelling for the puck, and Yossi not realizing that it wasn't one of his own teammates. So cagey move by Corey Perry.
All's fair in love and war, right? Emerson Edom steamrolled by Fisher as he came out of the zone. Puck picked up by Fowler, who hammers it wide. Got away from Jones behind the net. Koivu takes a big hit. Boy, Fisher throwing his weight around on this ship. Koivu comes up with the puck, brushes it back for Lindholm. His shot, score! Great screen in front, and the Ducks have the lead back.
Hampus Lindholm again has that sense about him. Watch when he gets his puck on the stick and he moves it laterally, changes the shooting angle, and just kind of feeds it through. And now Andrew Cogliano is going hard to the front of the net. Edom took a swipe at it. Cogliano took a swipe at it. Does someone get a touch on it? Hard to tell from that angle.
Well, all the Ducks know is it's 3-2. And Lindholm, who already had an assist tonight, has been credited with the goal, his 6th of the season. I don't know if they're looking at this. The officials are over at the scorer's bench. Not a whole lot to see here.
Well, they want to make sure this was not knocked in with a high stick. And there's no way. I mean, the puck never is higher than the height of the crossbar. So I'm surprised they're even reviewing this, quite honestly.
Well, it was brief. Denny Leroux will give us the word.
After review, the ruling on the ice is correct. It's a good goal.
Not popular, but at 4:51 of the third, Anaheim has the lead back. And Bolesky storms into the Nashville zone and throws it on net, swallowed up by Carter Hutton.
John, no surprise that these two teams are involved in another one-goal game. Seems like every game between the Ducks and the Predators is tight. You mentioned the Ducks have won the last 4. 2 of those victories came in a shootout, however.
Nashville has gone to overtime in each of their last 3 games. And now Wilson in a hurry over top of the net, and he tries to bank it in off of Hiller as he was trying to get back to the far post. Wilson carries on in the corner. Stepping in front on him is Perreault, and then Wilson
he got
gave him a good shot.
Yeah, and his shoulders were square to the boards, so Matthew Perreault, his face got smashed into the boards.
Over comes Moser, and Perreault digs it away from him. A lot of slashing going on. They get it back to Weber, in and out of the glove of Hiller, and it squirts out for Bolesky.
It's such a weapon, that shot of Shea Weber. I mean, goaltenders just can't field it cleanly. It's coming so hot.
Bolesky loses it, and at the line, Allen did not hold it in. So the Ducks have the lead back. Just under 14 to go.
Well, there's the goal scorer. Emerson Edom has been credited with the 3rd Anaheim goal. Here's a look at it from a low angle. Hampus Lindholm feeds this through, and watch the touch. That puck was going to go wide, and it's just going to change direction ever so slightly. Finds its way into the top corner, and Edom gives the Ducks a 1-goal lead.
I walked over to the rink with Emerson tonight. I said, "What are you doing for the Olympic break?" He said, "Going back to Norfolk." So there is an all-star break at the American League level. So they won't resume play until Thursday or Friday, probably begin practicing, he told me, on Thursday. So his break probably the shortest of anyone currently on the Anaheim roster as a result.
I've not heard definitively, John, whether Frederik Andersen might also go and play down in Norfolk, because it's a long time, you know. And if you have an opportunity with your entry-level contract players to give them a little bit extra ice time, why not?
Hornqvist gets it to the net, and Hiller covers up. I mentioned the Preds' last game was 2 nights ago up in St. Paul, and it was a tough day for the organization as their only general manager they've ever known, David Poile, was hit with a stray puck in practice, and it was a dangerous-looking injury. It took a puck around the eye, and he was hospitalized. And their only play-by-play man on TV, Pete Weber, also suffered a heart attack that day, and he was in the hospital until today in St. Paul. So we want to send out our well wishes and get well soon to both David Poile and Pete Weber, two great guys that it's been a pleasure to work around and with over the years here, and they don't know any different here in Nashville than those 2 gentlemen.
Exchanged emails with Pete today, and he says he's thrilled to be out of the hospital and home and doing well, and that's great news, and we hope for nothing but the best for David Poile as well.
Of course, the timing for David Poile couldn't be worse. He's the general manager of Team USA. Was planning on going over to Sochi, but it was a scary-looking injury close enough to the eye where I think pressure is an issue, and he may not be able to fly. And Brian, he may not end up going to Sochi at all to watch the team he has assembled compete in the Winter Olympics.
Well, once again, a reminder of just how fragile life is at times, and how fortunate we are.
Legwand has it knifed off his stick as he enters the Anaheim zone, and Edom crushes it ahead. Cogliano turns on the Jets. Going to get around Jones. No, but he finds the trailer. Koivu, and his shot is blocked. Up and down they go. Moser chips it in and pursues himself. Lindholm comes over to take it away. Campus turns away and gives it to Cam Fowler. Edom under duress along the near boards. Helped out by Perreault. Cross-ice passes behind Silverberg, but he gets to it and gets it deep. 12 minutes to go in Nashville. The Ducks lead the Preds 3-2. Here's a turnover, and Winnick couldn't slide it through. Now he does, and they score! Perreault makes it 4-2.
Well, that's a huge goal for the Ducks. And this is a bad turnover by the Predators that Matthew Perreault exploits. Great pass by Daniel Winnick across to Matthew Perreault for his 12th. But full control moving out in front of the net is Ellis, and he just coughs it up. Comes right back to Winnick, and Perreault is just wide open in front.
3 goals in the last 6 games now for Matthew Perreault, who picks up his 100th career point. And for the first time tonight, these teams separated by more than a goal. Ducks 10-2-1 in their last 13 road games. We haven't mentioned the road prowess much because they haven't been on the road in a long time, Brian. They are the top road team in the National Hockey League entering tonight's action.
Anaheim in great shape, but plenty of time left in this one. Well, the Predators are a team, if you were to describe them, you would say that they work hard, they've got all kinds of speed, but they're really missing. And they have been missing for some time is that real finisher up front, the big offensive star that can get them the big goal when they need it. They thought they had it with Alexander Radulov. That was the big experiment that they thought was going to work out for them. And Radulov decided to go back and play in the Continental Hockey League again.
Now, there was a time when they thought they had it in Patrick Hornqvist. Remember, he had a 30-goal season back in 2009-2010. I mentioned it's been a little bit of a disappointing year for him this season as well. Coming into tonight, Hornqvist with just 10 goals. But he's been a big part of their game in this one here tonight. You could win a 2014 Honda Odyssey coming up later on this season at Honda Center. It's all part of Fan Appreciation Night. To enter to win, log on to AnaheimDucks.com/Honda Odyssey. Gabriel Bourque battling with Brian Allen. Oh, Allen, a one-man wrecking crew in the corner as he runs over Craig Smith. Smith pulls it out and gets a shot away, but it's deflected wide to the corner. Del Zotto pinched up the wall to keep the puck in, and now Allen brushes it away on the backhand. And Winnick, who drew the assist on the Perreault goal moments ago, clears the zone. Del Zotto has it poked off his stick as he enters the zone. Spiza does the honors there.
Yeah, you're going to see Del Zotto, Weber, much more aggressive. Jones as well in terms of how they had joined the attack the rest of this game. They've got to involve their defense now, well, trailing by 2.
Jones starts out from behind his own net and throws it away. Well, I mentioned Seth Jones has had an impressive rookie year, but it's been a struggle for him. -19 coming into tonight's action as the shortcomings and difficulties of playing the position he plays, defense at age 18.
Better be a good one. Oh boy, what a hit by Lovejoy.
He absolutely demos
Rich
Clune, and back come the Ducks. Silverberg's shot is blocked, and he goes careening into the end boards as well. Colton Sissons gets it to center red and lobs it in on the backhand. Loschmidt trailed there by Moser.
Well, John, I was just thinking about you talking about Seth Jones from the -19. Not unlike Cam Fowler.
Yeah.
In his early years in the NHL.
Great analogy. Stahlberg holds on to the puck, and then it's slashed away by Perry. And he's able to nudge it all the way down, enabling the Ducks to get a line change. Just past the halfway mark of the third period, the Ducks entered the period leading 2-1. They've outscored the Preds by the same count. Again, Moser trying to draw an interference call, but he can't as he got tangled up with Spiza. Josi swats it away in the neutral zone, and Wilson circles back. Goes against the grain on Cogliano, lost the handle, plays it back to the line. Weber, wrist shot through traffic, and it's to the end boards. Getzlaf wipes it away. Here's Cogliano, takes it neatly off the boards, cuts back, drops it off. Penner's shot, partially blocked. Cogliano throws it off the side of the net. And the Preds move it out. Fisher trailing the play, comes up with it for Hornquist off the wing, wide of everything. Nystrom for Fisher. Tries to turn off of Fowler, gets it across, and on the backhand, Del Zotto couldn't pull the trigger.
Del Zotto did not commit to the play. I mean, he was not opening up, expecting that pass was going to come all the way across.
Ben Lovejoy got his stick tangled up, I believe, in Denny LaRue, and LaRue went down like a spinning top, and the fans, of course, got a great deal of pleasure out of that. I don't know, can you call a penalty on a guy for tripping you? Bork at the front of the net, and the centering pass doesn't come through because Lindholm broke it up.
Times in my own career that I wanted to trip Denny LaRue.
Legwand's centering pass blocked by Lindholm all the way back. Ducks rolling changes as quickly as possible as the game clock winds to 7:20 to go in Nashville. 4-2 Anaheim. The Predators scored first. Anaheim looking to make it a clean sweep in Nashville this season. Now Nystrom bumped by Lindholm, and all that does is wipe the icing. Fans are looking for calls. Predators need more than just power plays. They're down a pair. Penner gets it to the net, and Hutton holds it in his glove. 6:58 to play in Nashville. It's been physical all night. Just ask Rich Clune.
Hampus Lindholm has had another strong effort tonight. Boy, when he kicks it into gear, puts his head down, boy, he's such a good skater. In the force on the attack, he's been very good defensively. The play where he stepped right up on Hornquist, got a good read on that play. And then not too long ago, it was his shot that was redirected by Emerson Edom to make it a 3-2 Ducks lead. They have expanded it on the Perreault goal to a 4-2 lead.
Lindholm with a pair of assists tonight, now has 3 assists in the last 2 games. He's also played 23 minutes or more in 3 of the last 5 games for Anaheim. I don't know if he'll get to 23 minutes tonight.
Cogliano get inside on Legwand.
And a puck around the boards for Edom, and 3-on-2 are the Ducks if they hurry. Edom joins the rush. Cogliano tried to cut across the slot, only to have his shot blocked. Craig Smith, 6 points in his last 5 games, can't get to the front of the Anaheim net, and Edom lobs it back.
The Ducks doing a good job here. They get a hold of the puck in the defensive zone and no messing around. They move it quick. They get it out of their zone in a hurry. They hit center red and get pucks deep.
Outlet pass to Mosier, but he has it taken away as Perreault stripped him on the back check. Lovejoy, cross for Fowler, who brings it to center red and wires it around and in. Bartley behind the net has it swept off his stick by Daniel Winnick. Perreault keeps it deep. Silverberg strides to the far boards after it. Winnick pursues to the near side as he's knocked off his skates. And up the wall, Wilson is able to clear. Nice play by Lindholm there as he went back to get the puck. Backhand pass right to Winnick. Perreault pulls it in, and his shot deflected to the far side of the Nashville zone. Picked up by Getzlaf. dropping back was Silverberg into a quiet little opening. And his shot was blocked. He then knocked it down with a high stick. Just over 5 to play in Nashville. Moment, the difference in the hockey game right now would be the game-winning goal.
Needham with the redirect. Quick little shot, wristed into the front of the net by Lindholm. And that was huge for the Ducks. They look very much like a team in control, John. They've been an excellent team this season when they've been able to get leads in third periods.
Face-off from just outside the Nashville stripe. Looked like Corey Perry was having a conversation with the Nashville bench there. Off the face-off as Moshman leads it out. Getzlaf gets it deep. Roman Josi gets it to the line. Lindholm holds it in, walks the line, gives it to Getzlaf. He gets it towards the net. Off the stick of Hutton to the high glass. Getzlaf has it again. Down low for Perry. Knocked off his stick. Penner's shot blocked right to Lindholm. He tees it up. That's blocked by Mike Fisher. Fisher, one of the best shot-blocking forwards in the National Hockey League. So is Ryan Getzlaf. Puck comes to the front of the net. Hutton plays it along. Looked like he might have caught his teammates a little bit by surprise by playing that puck. Fisher brings it in. Into the boards by Francois Beauchemin.
That's a good job by Beauchemin. Boy, he just stands up and takes away all the time for Mike Fisher.
He has played 27 minutes or more in 2 of the last 3 games as Francois, including over 28 minutes against Chicago on Wednesday.
I think we've got coincidental minor penalties being called here. Corey Perry and I believe Patrick Hornquist are being sent to the penalty box. Ducks would probably not prefer that it be played 4-on-4, but Hornquist and Perry, not much anything going on right there.
Maybe it was here. And that, if so, that's not much either, but a couple of roughing minors apparently. Wow. Which gives us a moment to send out birthday greetings to Ducks PR Director Sandy Cookie Gilchrist as he celebrates today on the road with the team here in Nashville.
What birthday is it? Are you aware of that number?
I don't have confirmation, so I'm not going to speculate. I don't think it does anybody any good when I start speculating.
He's a little bit like Albert Pujols, where people wonder.
Hutton to the Nashville bench with 4 minutes to go as the Preds in a 4-on-4 decide they want to go 5-on-4. Down a couple goals. It's a gutsy move here by Barry Trotz. And they set up in the Anaheim zone. Legwand on the half wall. Gets it back. Fisher sets up in the middle in the high slot. Weber, trigger man at the line. They overload the right side of the zone. Legwand can't get a passing lane to sneak it through for Josi, who was trying to get free on the backdoor pass. Now Legwand moves it down low. Backhander is in the glove of Jonas Hiller from Rich Klum. No, excuse me, it's Craig Smith.
Yeah, Craig Smith walks out and he just kind of shovels this puck. It's got a little bit of a lane, but Lovejoy was there and was going to close on Smith. And boy, that's where it's a huge advantage for a goaltender that catches with the right hand. When they decide to make the play on this side of the Ducks net, I would hardly recommend that most teams, when they set up their power play, don't set it up on the blocker side of the goaltender. Set it up on his catching glove side.
And perhaps that's what's being discussed as the Predators use their timeout here with just 3:24 remaining.
The reason why is that it's much easier on the blocker side of the net for a goaltender to use both his stick and his hand to prevent pucks from getting through the goal crease and certainly controlling rebounds when you're trying to jam it into the net with your free hand furthest away from the short side post.
It's been a good night for Hiller. 34 saves. As he looks up, the net stays empty at the far end of the ice. Still a minute 12 left in the coincidentals to Hornquist and Perry. So it's a 5-on-4 with the netminder pulled for the Predators. And Fisher comes out, same crew with Legwand and Smith. Weber and Yossi on their offsides so that they can set up for the one-timers. Getzlaf to take the draw against Fisher, and it's battled to the wall. Allen sends it to the line. Yossi held it in. Boschman turns, tries to clear up the middle, knocked down by Fisher. And they say he did so with a high stick, and then Getzlaf shovels it the length of the ice. It'll be icing, and he broke his stick in the process.
And he's saying, how can that be icing? When he shot the puck, he's saying it banked off of a Nashville stick before it went the length of the ice.
Certainly looked that way.
Yeah. You can see it here. They're just waiting there. The Predators don't want... Watch Getzlaf. Maybe not.
He tried to play the billiards angle off the boards, and he missed. 3:08 to go in the game. 4-2 Anaheim. Face off again to the left of Hiller. And false draw. And Fisher and Getzlaf will be allowed to stay and try it again. Getzlaf wins to the end boards. Boschman up the wall, off of Weber to center ice. Getzlaf very nearly beats Weber to it, now kicks it away from Yossi.
How good has Ryan Getzlaf been tonight? He's been a star in this game.
He has played a ton in every imaginable situation. Power play, penalty kill, 5-on-4. Empty net. He has a goal and an assist. He and Lindholm, I think, probably have been the best players. Back to get it, Roman Yossi. Jonas Hiller's got to be in that conversation as well. Hiller stays put as Yossi winds it in. Allen reversing it around, Boschman to the line, and Yossi has it. Cross ice for Weber. Right back for Yossi. He winds and fires, only to be blocked. Cogliano comes up with it. Goes in behind Koivu, gives it to him on the far side, and Yossi blocks his bid at the empty net. Koivu gets a stick on the outlet. Fowler puts it in the middle, but Hornquist pounces on it. The penalties are over to Hornquist and Perry. It's now 6-on-5 for Nashville. From behind the net, Wilson trying to stuff it and move it across. Stahlberg fanned on it.
Yeah, Stahlberg was there.
Fowler comes up with it into the middle of the ice. Koivu quickly ahead to Cogliano. The open man, Perry. Back into the middle. Cogliano's bid is blocked. Then Perry fires it. Oh, that hit an unsuspected
save.
Yeah, Wilson, we never saw the puck coming, yet he made the save. Minute and a half to go. The net has been empty for Nashville for 2.5 minutes. This won't go far enough for icing as Ellis is back to get it. Ryan Ellis now forced to the far boards, fans on it, gets it ahead. Hornquist has it poked away by Getzlaf, and now the Preds have to get onside. Jones wires it around. Getzlaf off the skate. Converged upon. In comes Boschman. He's able to chip it ahead to the line. Jones, under a minute to go in the game. Jones goes wide. In behind the net. It comes loose to the corner. Fowler is after it. Can't poke it past Weber. Wilson brings it right to the front of the net, and Hiller makes a couple more saves. Nice from behind the net for Wilson, and it's just flipped the length of the ice towards the empty net, and it's going to go in. Right in the center. Ryan Getzlaf.
You know what? He deserves this. He's played just a terrific game. It's almost like he was getting in shape for Sochi,
his
John.
Second of the game.
Yeah.
This is a beauty. This is, as they say, Hazy, when you're putting, center cut.
He's so strong. I mean, that's a hoisted backhand from the corner under pressure.
Yeah, 190-foot shot. Look at that. And he gets bumped just for good measure afterwards. His second of the night, 29th of the season into the empty net. The Ducks lead 5-2, and that means Hooters will reward you with 5 free wings. Go to AnaheimDucks.com/Hooters. Print the coupon tonight. It's redeemable at any Southern California Hooters location for the next 24 hours. The clock winds down now to 10 seconds to go in the game as the Ducks are going to put an end to their losing ways. Had dropped 4 of their last 5, and they win again on the road. Going away in the third period, 5-2 in Nashville. And their leaders did it all tonight. Getzlaf, 2 goals and an assist. Corey Perry had a goal. And then as the Ducks were going to congratulate Hiller, Rich Clune tripped up Corey Perry out at the blue line. And both teams having to be separated right now at center ice.
Yeah, Getzlaf having some words for Rich Clune. These teams play at Honda Center later in the year after the Olympic break. This is a good win for Anaheim. 5-2 victory for the Ducks. Comes at a great time as they head into the break. They can enjoy this one for the next 20 days.